The night on Nithra Prime was cruel, not just cold, but biting silent, vast. The wind screamed over the jagged plains like lost souls, and the temperature dropped faster than my atmospheric suit could compensate. My small campfire flickered, struggling against the alien wind. That's when she appeared again. Zero. We've been on the same expedition to explore Nithra's underground ruins. A joint task between her species, the feral, and mine, the humans. Everyone else had returned to orbit once the storm warnings hit. Only I stayed behind, too stubborn to leave. She had stayed too, but I wasn't sure if it was for science or something else. I heard her approach before I saw her. Her silver and black armor shimmered in the firelight, but her face was bare, revealing those piercing lavender eyes and the faint markings on her cheekbones that pulsed with inner light. "Your fire is weak," she said, her voice deep and smooth like melting stone. "You'll freeze." "I've survived worse," I said, though my shaking hands made a liar out of me. She knelt beside the fire, eyeing me. "You humans are fragile," she added, not cruelly, just a fact. "We're also stubborn." Zero's gaze didn't waver. She was taller than me by a head, her build lithe but powerful. A warrior, no doubt. She tilted her head, considering me as the fire danced between us. "I have thermal lining in my tent," she said, "but it doesn't hold warmth well on its own." I raised an eyebrow. "You inviting me to your side of the camp?" She blinked slowly. "Yes, I am inviting you to sleep next to me." The wind howled, shaking the trees above. I stared at her, unsure if she was serious or just teasing. Her lips curled into a slow smirk. "Why does the idea startle you, human? I am not poisonous." "I didn't think you were. Just unexpected." She stood up, her long coat fluttering behind her. "Come. Or do you prefer to freeze out here in the name of human pride?" I hesitated only a moment before grabbing my gear. Her tent was larger than mine, reinforced with some flexible metallic fabric that shimmered like a mirror in certain light. Inside, there were 2 thermal pads on the floor, alien tech, that glowed faintly, struggling to create warmth. "Take off your jacket," she said, already unstrapping her chest armor. I paused. She noticed. "Do not be shy, human. I do not intend to devour you." Her smile was sharp, teasing. I shrugged off my coat and boots. Beneath, I wore a plain thermal suit. She had stripped down to something similar. Tight, dark fabric that clung to her alien curves, clearly designed for agility and speed. She lay down on one of the thermal pads and patted the space beside her. I lay down, careful not to brush against her too much. The warmth from her body was immediate, almost shocking. Her species ran hotter than ours, literally. She turned slightly toward me. "Better?" "Yes." We lay in silence for a moment, the wind rattling against the tent. Then she spoke softly. "Do you miss your world?" I looked up at the soft lights of the tent roof. "Sometimes, but I miss people more than places." She nodded slowly. "That is the same for my kind. My planet was devoured by war. I was chosen to leave. I watched my home burn from orbit." Her voice never cracked, but I could feel the weight in her words. "I'm sorry," I whispered. Zero turned to face me more fully. "Don't be. I survived. But survival is not the same as living." We were close now, closer than I expected. Her hand brushed against mine. She didn't pull away. "You are warm," she said quietly. "I didn't think humans would be." "Not usually," I said with a smile. "But we can surprise you." She studied me, really studied me. Her gaze traveled over my face, my lips, my eyes. There was no shyness in her inspection. She was curious, thoughtful. Then she said it. "Can you warm me up, human?" I stared at her. Her voice was soft, not playful, not seductive, just vulnerable. "I've been cold a long time," she added. "Not just my body." The silence after her words was heavy. I reached out gently and rested my hand on hers. Her skin was smooth, almost like soft metal, but still warm. "I'll stay with you," I said, "as long as you want." She didn't speak. Instead, she slid closer, pressing her body against mine. The heat was immediate, but not just physical. It felt like a barrier inside her had finally broken. We didn't do anything beyond that. No hunger, no desperation, just closeness. We lay there like that, sharing warmth, breath, presence. I could hear her heart, slower than mine, steady, grounding. She placed her head on my shoulder, her voice a murmur. You feel safe. I smiled into the darkness. That's funny. I was thinking the same about you. Her fingers gently curled into mine. Maybe, she whispered, we don't have to be cold anymore. And I believed her.